Right, what is there to look at, firstly? What a tragedy. We gotta stop more of the city and the population being pulverized by this carnage. Metal tree? A steely sculpture, or perhaps an unusual life form, emerges from the wreckage. I remember the metal trees from Neofeud 1.
Is that a metallic tree with solar panels for
Hell
leaves?
yeah.
The steel uncle will photosynthesize warm kisses of red giant and soul, metabolizing the slain war machine. His Oxyanians were woven before yellow sun cooled several 100 million years ago. A gift of our ancestors' first Vane Pakal, Machine Age.
Great game, love Silver Spook. Oh yeah, they're the best. I fucking love the first Neofeud game. Silver Spook is a very brilliant writer. I love this shit. It's so good. It's definitely my favorite like point and click adventure game that I've ever played. But yeah, I remember the solar trees from the first game because they're introduced relatively early on into the story in Neofeud 1. And like I still didn't really know what I thought of the game yet. Like I would grow to really love the writing and think it was brilliant, but at that point I wasn't super deep into the story yet. I remember the metal trees being something that made me go, "Oh, that's really interesting sci-fi world building. That's an idea that I've never heard of before or like read in another book." Trees getting so much metals and microplastics built up in them that they literally turn into like metallic trees that can be repurposed as solar panels because of their natural photosynthesis. I was like, that's really interesting. Okay, is this like game actually good? And I would come to realize, yes, it's fucking awesome.
Wait, I thought you, the neurons, want to convert things to nature, which is like grass, trees, birds, and other fleshy, leafy, sticky, organic stuff.
Though you are woven of steel and silicon yourself, orphaned relative, you are also a part of the garden. Some of Yanyu's brokenness that stains your soul must be repaired still, but we do not abandon our children for such faults. Certainly, we would not demolecularize your corporeum and force your silicon binary programming into carbon coding of DNA.
Well, thanks for not demolecularizing me.
Decolonators with Thatcher is hilarious. I played that game. I need to play Silver Spook's other games, because I've only played Neofeud and Neofeud 2 now. I remember how they were introduced. They were created by this robot who was thrown into a landfill because he got the shade of flowers wrong for the Neo-feudal party. Yeah! Yeah! that was the like moment where I was like, that's really interesting and original. Like, it's not just a parody of something else or you know, like, something like, that's just interesting, unique, original world building that makes the world feel more fleshed out and real. I found you... No, I remember Sapatra. I know you're part of Silver Spook's community. But yeah, I love their writing.
So, like, sorry if it's a weird personal question, but are you guys organic or robotic?
We Venoorans are biomechanical fusion ourselves. My head carapace is chitinous resin interlaced with iron, threaded with softer flesh.
fleshed out. I think you mean steeled out. True. I mean, I guess for this game, Carl Carbon was all flesh, except for his robot arm. But Nostromo is definitely entirely robotic.
Oh, you're part metal too? So we're kind of half siblings or something?
Yes, something like that.
Also, does that mean you're like that half vampire, half human blade?
I suppose, although we are quite a bit older than those long-fanged humanoid parasites you call vampires. And we love our day stars.
Nice to find good Aussie streamer. Yeah, I mean, there's not many of us, but I guess it makes sense. There's less people in our entire country than there are in the state of Texas. So, you know, it's going to be drawing from a much smaller talent pool. But there's definitely some good Aussie streamers out there. I'd like to think I'm one. Are they having this casual conversation while there's a massacre going on? I mean, yes and no, Maracus. To me, the implication was always in moments like this that time is essentially frozen. Like, time only moves when you're, like, walking around doing stuff. You can just stand there and have a really long conversation in the middle of a gunfight or whatever. I feel like it's just part of how point and clicks work. How many Aussies are there? I forget the exact population number, but around 25 million botched. Maybe 20... Let's say between 24 and 26 million, maybe slightly more than 26 million. I forget off the top of my head. But like, Texas and California both have populations of slightly over 30 million. Oh, it's 27.2. Okay, my bad. Yeah, slightly off. Off by 2 million, I guess. I looked it up just there. Okay, thank you, Sapatra. I mean, I was basically right. I just haven't, like, I couldn't remember off the top of my head exactly what the number was. But the point is, 27 million, Texas has like 31 or 32 million. I think California has 34 million, or maybe, I don't know. There's also more people in California than all of Canada. Yeah, I mean, exactly, Maracus, you get it. Like, it's not like the country feels empty or anything, but it's just like, yeah, the sheer scale of numbers is incomparable. Like, there's more people in some American states than the entire span of my country. But yeah, I mean, that's true, Sapatra. Like, part of the reason our population is smaller is definitely because, like, a large percentage of our inland is completely unlivable. Yeah, exactly. The US was a lot easier to, like, develop because you guys have way more natural irrigation. It's kind of similar in Canada, right? But not as bad. Like, there are large portions of Canada that are basically uninhabitable, icy wasteland, but also you did kind of colonize, like, most of the country, even though there are sections of it where, like, sections of provinces or whatever, where just, like, nobody really lives because there's nothing there. Alright, But yeah, I thought some Canadian provinces were, like, pretty empty. Aside from, you know, a few small towns and whatever their capital is. Alright, that's everything. What else can we look at here? The Utopian enemy's ground forces. I was once part of these murderous colonizer ranks. While there are robo-soldiers like moi amongst their regiments, seeing how I'm all cozied up to the Winu Orons, they'll definitely shoot me down as a traitor without a second thought if I try to cross the no man's land. Okay, it's good advice to not do that then. Let's ask about the warp gates. Yeah, Australia's donut. Everybody's on the coast.
Oh, whoa! You guys really do have warp technology? The Western Galaxy can barely manage light speed.
Yes, our stargates are far beyond the understanding of the Broken Ones, and it will remain that way as long as they continue antagonizing their elders.
Venuran military vessels. They kicked the crap out of the Eutropians, who ran away with their tails between their legs.
Did you just hocus pocus that Leviathan-class warship into a star-spangled blimp?
Yes, this superstring harmonization fits the Eutropians well. General Xi made an excellent choice of transmutation.
I think we asked this last time. I think I did that dialogue at the very end of last stream. We can quickly watch it again, though, because I'm still trying to figure out what I should do here to stop the massacre, because we can't go out into no man's land, or we'll just get immediately shot to death.
So, that's it? You're just gonna turn their mega murder star demolisher into a hot air balloon?
Yes, the aero jellyfish gently sails through the sky, ferrying the young toddlers safely to the embrace of Mother Yevon's surface. It sparks joy, does it not?
It's about as bad, but yeah, even the less desolate provinces are pretty uninhabited. In Manitoba, for example, 60% of the province's population lives in the capital of Winnipeg, and the second largest city is about 50k. Okay, yeah, I kind of thought so. Like, Canada kind of had a similar thing, but instead of it being a donut, it's all kind of just, like, peppered throughout the country. But that was always kind of what I'd seen about Canada. Like, I've never been to Canada, but what I'd kind of read and heard about it was like that, yeah, you guys have got provinces all over the state, and there's always something there, like some kind of city or some towns and stuff, but ultimately large sections of every province are just like snowy, barren wasteland. Basically the ice equivalent of the interior desert of Australia. Canada has a large population around the Great Lakes. I mean, that makes sense. I feel like civilization always ends up kind of arranging itself around water. Just makes sense from a developmental perspective, you know?
What? Bring them safely to ground? These filthy, Gates-damn Eutropians just bombed half a city to smithereens. They killed thousands of innocent people. Every one of them deserves to be blown to pieces themselves.
Their armada flees, knowing they are outmatched. They have learned their lesson. Is this not enough? Yes, it was a terrible shattering of our relatives, surely, but we are peace officers of the cosmic tree, not stormtroopers of the star-spangled Roman Empire. We know many of them pick up swords because their broken rulers do not pay them enough to tend their own garden with plowshares.
I mean, that's true.
If we
Poverty
show them
draft,
mercy
baby.
and care, as we did you,
Same as it ever was.
many will choose to walk the path of healing and join the Galactic Silk Road.
I mean, I guess you're right, but still, they've killed your people, stolen your land, ruined your environment and called you the violent aggressors. How can you have such patience and self-control? If you attacked Utopia, they'd immediately hit you back 10 times harder.
When your civilization has lapped time's spiral long enough to watch millions of people sprout and wither, to see suns live and die, to visit the beating heart of our supermassive galactic mother, to be reborn from her womb in a pale fountain, you will understand.
It's part of the reason why we have more native people proportionately than the US. It's hard to get a genocide going over a rocky tundra. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense, actually.
Why did you make their air squid or parade float thingy so, patriotic? Is it a joke or something?
We ensconce the Star-Spangled Roman in red, white, and blue, emblazoned their air medusa with their legion's eagle and centurion helmet to comfort them. They are an exceptionally prideful culture, the Eutropians, and being militarily beaten by us savage insects has severely bruised their egos. These symbols, like a baby's pacifier, help to calm their tantrums and avoid further violence.
As a 5-year-old, I know I can't question your strategies, Peace Officer Kailatu, but as a former stormtrooper, I gotta go on record saying those goons do not deserve coddling.
Is the Utopian currency represented with Z, not an S?
I'm pretty sure the Utopian currency symbol is a Z with an up and down line, not an S.
Yeah, because it's Zuck bucks.
We may have confused this imperial with their predecessor, the Americans. It can prove difficult keeping the toddlers' epochs straight, as their own history books are littered with lies and half-truths. The original Broken One's denarius was a bisected X, 1/48th pound of silver paid unto their oligarchs. From their Second Punic War till the reign of Gordian III, then they crumbled soon after, always tying themselves in knots, tripping over their selfish, small-minded hubris.
Sounds like forking 90% of my Zuckbuck daily bread to Omnizon for the right to exist.
Yes, the Americans rendered unto their terrestrial Caesars 70% of their incomes for shelter, medicine, as the divine-mandated kings of Europe drained their peasants.
I talked about this a bit last time, but I do like how the Venuran's design is kind of very xenomorph-esque in a way, because it's kind of a good parallel for the way that, like, American Empire has demonized competing, watch out for the Red Menace, the China threat. The Wuhan flu. They have to depict competing systems as like a dangerous alien threat, even though they might in many ways function better than American democracy. Australia and Canada, yeah. I've said that before, that Canada and Australia have quite a lot in common. Like, there's a lot of parallels with our countries that made me surprised we weren't, like, diplomatically closer. Although apparently that's happening now because Trump is alienating so many other world leaders that they're all proactively banding together to try and de-emphasize, like, American influence in global politics. I know Mark Carney wanted to have some partnership thing with Anthony Albanese recently. Of all the countries, they would be the most alike, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, amusingly enough, I know that, like, some people, Scoot, for instance, described Melbourne, the city that I live in, as the most Vancouver-like city that they had ever been to in their life. It was basically just Vancouver, according to him. I've never been to Vancouver, so I can't say, but yeah, apparently the city I live in is basically Vancouver, just in Australia. It's super bizarre how a lot of Western chauvinists talk about the Chinese like they're aliens. Exactly, Maracas, yeah. Call them like bug men to dehumanize them and stuff. It's ridiculous. You know. Or just, like, assume they're all, like, slaves living miserable lives. Where it's like, hey, guys, you can stop huffing the, like, Western propaganda for a sec. Are Chinese people perhaps in some ways less free than people are in, say, America? Yes, of course. But, like, they mostly lead very happy, normal lives, in many ways more materially comfortable than the lives people lead in America. The Chinese government is autocratic and abusive, and it is genociding Uyghurs. But, like, the American government's, aiding in the genocide of fucking Palestinians in Gaza. At least Chinese people have fucking healthcare, you know? Is this imagination? No, Silas. America is doing much the same shit. I mean, exactly, here I am. Yeah, for, like, every crime of the CCP, you can point to something equally as monstrous that the American presidential administration has done. So it kind of becomes like a moot point at a certain level, you know? I feel like Asians in general are a bit overhated. Oh, very much so, Electrica. I would agree. I live right near the AUKUS base, so the anti-China stuff. Oh god, yeah, that would be so fucking annoying. My mom's favorite city here is Vancouver, and she's in Melbourne right now on a work trip. I'll ask her. Yeah, I'd be interested to hear what she thinks, because that's what Scoot said, that apparently Melbourne is the most Vancouver-like city he ever visited. You know who keeps flying under the radar? White people. Like, what are they up to? Yeah, what are they doing? What's he been up to? The Uyghur genocide stuff is Western propaganda, so we'll have to disagree on that point. Is it, Patra? Admittedly, I'm not an expert on it. I thought it, like, was happening, but just not as exaggerated as Western media makes it. But admittedly, I'm not an expert on that particular topic. Although I do know a decent amount about China, but like, is it all just entirely Western propaganda? Because, yeah, I thought it was just kind of one of those things that was massively overhyped by the State Department, but was still, like, kind of happening. Just not to nearly the level that they say it is. Calling it a genocide is... Oh, I see what you mean. Okay. Yeah, alright. Alright. What else can we do here? Oh, we can look at the forces at the very least. The Venusian ground forces are holding the line.
These are peace officers? You mean soldiers? Warriors?
Yes, although, unlike the twisted children of the broken dragon, we do not seek war for money, power, or its own sake.
Weird. So, if you Venusians don't threaten your citizens with homelessness, destitution, and massive student debt, how do you get folks to sign up for the military?
Our people love our country.
Yeah, if you don't just ruin your citizens' lives, why would they fight the military?
All beings from poverty, helping them join the galactic Silk Road of win-win cooperation. We believe in the cause we fight for.
Man, that must be really great to have something worth fighting for. I only ever fought to survive the next 24 hours, and because they programmed my brain wires to shoot the bad guys.
There were incursions on the border and a lot of Uyghur separatist movements, CIA backed. Oh, okay, I getcha. So it's like a Falun Gong type situation then? Okay, I see what you mean. Say what you will about the CCP, but their system works. It might be tyrannical, but it's stable and prosperous. Yeah, that's where I'm at with it, kind of, Maracas. Where, yeah, like, you know, at the very least, they have elevated the material living conditions of the Chinese people by quite a bit over the last 60 years. Like, the American government is draining American citizens of every last drop of their fucking blood at this point. Like, it's trying to grind the working class into dust, you know? It's very complex. I mean, I'm being reductive when I'm saying it's a Falun Gong type situation, Sapatra. I just mean, like, it's a thing that the Western media's decided to kind of, like, basically frame this group as the victims so they can call it a genocide, even though, like, there's actual, like, reasons why they were getting into military conflict with the Chinese government. I mean, like, for anybody in chat who doesn't know, Falun Gong is like a weird cult. There's the reason the Chinese government cracks down on it is because they're like a politically right-leaning cult. And they literally, like, operate like, fucking the Epoch Times, that right-wing misinformation newspaper. They, like, operate that. But the Western media frames it like Falun Gong are these peaceful, they're just these, like, peaceful people who do yoga, and the Chinese government is oppressing them because they fear their yoga power or whatever. It's so stupid. But it's like, no, Falun Gong is evil. The person who runs that thing is like a literal cult leader. From what I understand, it's not quite a genocide, basically. They were terror attacks in the region due to economic disenfranchisement. Okay, with potentially some backing from the CIA. And as a result, the Chinese government brutally clamped down on the suspected dissidents to maintain security. Okay, it's closer to the shit the U.S. was doing during the war on terror than a genocide. Gotcha. Okay, thank you, Maracas. Yeah. So basically, yeah, some Uyghurs did die, but the U.S. government massively overstated the extent to which that happened. Well, wouldn't be the first time they've done that. Falun Gong is the perfect way to describe it. Yeah, like the Free Tibet kind of shit, yeah. Oh shit, your surgeon got back to you 3 weeks tops? That's fucking awesome, Nami. That's great that you're getting the surgery soon. Alright, what can we do here? I think I've looked at everything. What are these new things I have? Kailatu's temporal distortion ability. Slows time to a crawl so one can count grains of sand falling from the hourglass, or speed it so that the flower blooms and wilts like fireworks. The Venuran technology is woven into the helixes of Kailatu's DNA, quantum tangled with the threads of her consciousness, so it can't be transferred. Alright, what's the other one? Kailatu's quantum gravity distortion. It can lighten a heavy calabash, speed construction of ziggurats, or avert the breaking of one shell when falling from the sky. Zon-Ri, as we call it. It must not be misused, however. We once bestowed it upon a Eutropian ancestor, Hercules. He abused the sacred power, lifting marble columns and uprooting trees to pretend godhood for famed fortune. I'm just picturing Lou Ferrigno as Hercules throwing that grizzly bear into the sun. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Intoxicated, Hercules took to massacring endangered megafauna and became a drunken menace, slaughtered his own children, and was finally poisoned by his wife. We did not repeat the experiment. I mean, isn't that what happens in the myth? Alright, maybe we use the time thing on the ground forces? Those can't be used together. Can't figure that out. Oh wait, what's the brain thing? The Winu Aura peacekeeping forces are on call should we need the assistance of the big guns. Kailatu is a very high branch on the cosmic tree and functions as your go-between as a political and military leader of the Elder race. Alright. Hey! Silver Spoon! Thank you for the raid! How was your stream? Let me give you a shout out. There we go. Yeah, we're just figuring out how to defuse this situation in the Warzone here. And talking about, like, Falun Gong. Thanks a lot. Well, you've gotten quite far into Neofeud 2. Yeah. I feel like I'm a decent ways into the story now. I mean, I'm sure there's still like a lot more of it to happen. But like this is I feel like this is kind of similar to the point in Neofeud 1 when like Carl Carbon and Sybil and Protege working together. And, you know, they've got the time shit, you know, when that... I feel like we're kind of at about that point, pacing-wise. And that, you know, the main adventure will start from here, now that we're part of the Trantifa Super Soldier Resistance. Alright, what can we do here? Also, does Nostro not have his disco ball flashing ability anymore? Falun Gong also believe that mixed race children are abominable. Oh yeah, no, like they're a crazy cult. They're like, you know, the whole thing of them being persecuted by the CCP is just an invention of the American government. He was at 2 medical conferences where he was speaking at, said he felt bad, he ghosted on us, but he's not charging us for his work. His consultation... Oh, well, that's great, Nemi, that it'll be free at least. That's fucking awesome. Neofeud 2 is about twice the length of 1, so it's maybe about a quarter of the way. Okay, yeah, I kind of figured, yeah. like getting Nostro deprogrammed, you know, and joined up with the Venurans. That felt kind of like the intro to me. So now we can get into the main like plot, you know, stopping the evil Eutropian Empire. Possibly even hey, thank you for the follow, Frank Drescher. Possibly Warren Clinton Bush himself, if he makes a return. Because I remember from the end of Neofeud 1 that he, like, is a digital ghost that lives on. We insist on paying him still. He deserves to earn money for his work. I think everything total for getting rid of my cancer will be around 8K. Well, that's very generous of your family. Maybe try and work out some kind of arrangement where he at least gives you a discount on it or something if he feels bad about it. Or are you saying, like, you're gonna pay, but just, like, he's waiving the consultation and surgery fees, but there'll still be some kind of payment involved? Can't even imagine how much it would be in the US. Oh, yeah, no, you would like, go bankrupt doing it in the US, I'm sure. Alright. What can we do here? I feel like if I walk out here, I'm just gonna die. Let's just see. I'm curious. Yep. I just had to see if that would actually happen or not. Okay, let me think. What can we do? What does this do again? Okay, that's how we call up the soldiers. Right. Okay, maybe we try speaking to them. Can't figure that out. Okay, too far. You would lose your house in the US, yeah. Warren gets, he gets 100 trillion points on SpaceX. Despite having died, yeah. So I did wonder if he was going to come back for the sequel. Speaking of cult shark, are you familiar with Raelism? They're an originally French alien-worshipping sex cult that's famous for being relatively chill with no major controversies. They just focus on promoting meditation, love, tolerance, and kinky consensual sex. Were they the Raelians? Yeah, I know a little bit about them. I remember they used to do news reports on them all the time in the early 2000s when I was like a kid. I guess because they were a newish cult that was getting attention, and so journalists all over the world were just like, haha, let's make a report about these freaky French perverts. I mean, I don't know, like, that doesn't seem very surprising to me, to be honest. That's literally basically a thing in Transmetropolitan. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Like an image of it or something. But that's like literally a plot point kind of in the cyberpunk comic Transmetropolitan. Hold on, let me see if I can just find a point of it. There's like a whole subculture of people who do that. People who like splice their DNA with 50% like basically like alien gray DNA. Hold on, let me screen capture it. There's basically a subculture of people who like splice 50% of their DNA with alien DNA so they can kind of become like half alien. And it has like a weird sex cult kind of vibe thing. Like one of the characters in the comic is basically running his own like alien sex cult doing that. But it basically comes from like humanity making contact with aliens in this setting, but then like instead of, you know, it being the harmonious Star Trek-esque like meeting of two intelligent species as equals, that we basically put them into ghettos and sexually exploited them, like District 9 style. And so, like, you know, taking their DNA to splice with yourself was a form of extreme body modification and kind of like cult behavior is just one more way of like fetishizing and exploiting immigrant bodies. You know, but yeah, I feel like this would be a thing in real life. People would kind of fetishize aliens if they were real. I mean, there's already people who fetishize aliens now. Well, I mean, not necessarily that they're not real, but just that we haven't discovered aliens yet, is what I mean. But there's like people who think the xenomorph is sexy. You know, who want to fuck the xenomorph. Something with a metal tree. Cause yeah, I don't know what. Hold on, can I like walk around anywhere in this area? No. All right, we're just here. All right, got it. Okay. What do you mean the xenomorph isn't sexy? Well, I mean, not to me, but yeah, Mass Effect is all about fucking aliens, exactly. You can walk around as long as you don't get too close to enemy lines. Okay. Alright. Because, yeah, I was like, is there anything we can do here? Or am I just trying to figure out some interaction with the stuff here? Can I talk to the Venuran forces? Let me try that. No. Okay, can I talk to them from here? No. What if I get, like, a tiny bit closer? Oop. Can't figure that out. A little closer? If there's something in existence, at least one person wants to fuck it. I mean, exactly, Maracas, yeah. But what if the Xeno was thicker? Well, maybe I'd feel differently about it if the Xenomorph was a BBW. I'll admit that. Can I use the time thing on them? I'm not sure what that's going to do. What about...
Kai, I could use some of that Venu Aura firepower on Utopian ground forces while I go for broke out there.
Okay, there we go.
Of course. Our peace officers will provide you cover fire.
Okay,
We're taking too much fire. Take cover, men.
I should go now while I've got cover fire. Okay, do I use the speed thing now? I'm just gonna run. Is that where I'm going, or am I going this way? Whatever, we'll figure it out.
Jefferson's name is a defective tin man trying to jump our wall. Take that buggy trader out before he terminates us.
Okay, wrong move. Oh, did you look at the blimp, by the way? Oh, yes, we did. I looked at pretty much everything first in this scene before I started trying to figure out what was happening. But yeah, it had some very interesting dialogue, drawing like a connection between, like Eutropa and America and the Roman Empire. And, you know, just like the history of capitalism itself, I guess. That was cool. Yeah, because Nostra got confused why it's a dollar sign instead of a Zuckbuck sign. Yeah, no, that was interesting. We also did the dialogue about, like, the warp gates and the metal trees. I can't run behind enemy lines. Maybe there's another way to get there. Try again. Okay. Oh, wait, fuck. Forgot to do that. Alright. Let's see here. You do need to use the military. This part is tricky. I might change it later. But you need to use the Kailatu symbol in 2 play. Ah, okay. Interesting.
Kai, I could use some of that Venu Aura firepower on Utopian ground forces while I go for broke out there.
Of course.
Do that.
We're taking too much fire. Take cover, men.
Alright. Can I use this time thing here? Or maybe again? Where can I go here? Let's do...
What in Jefferson?
No, alright. Wrong. Look up in the left-hand side. Oh, it must have been something I was missing that I could interact with. Oh, city. Okay, right. Okay, I guess I go in there. Potentially. Alright, let me, do
Kai.
this again.
We're taking too much fire. Take cover, men.
Oh wait, no, I need to use the hand to go in it. Oh wait, I can't go in there? Is there anything else here that I'm missing? Higher than the city, actually. Air Force. Oh, wait, maybe I used that?
Kai, can you get the Venu Oran military to take down a Utopian fighter and tell them not to abracadabra it into a Zeppelin?
We can.
Ah,
as easy as a slice of placenta.
Great expression. Easy as a what?
Easy as what?
My apologies. The Utopian idiom is piece of cake. Their Roman predecessors baked desserts of cheese, dough, and bay leaves called placenta. I frequently confuse different stormtrooper colloquialisms.
I never understood their piece of cake figure of speech myself. I mean, cake is hard as hellion to get. You gotta be a rich queen of New Versailles or something to afford a teeny weeny sliver of real cake.
Just as the hungry slaves who built Rome burned, whilst Nero gorged himself on ice cream, the broken ones do love their unjust desserts. Anyway, the Utopian deathbird will be grounded at once.
Great.
Thanks a bunch.
Damn, that was fucking awesome. Whoa, the Winu Orons just liquidated the enemy assets. Literally.
Hey, thanks a lot, Kailatu, but I thought we talked about landing the Utopian Starcraft in its normal form?
My apologies, Steel Relative. But you did request the peace officers not transform the young one's metal bird into a zeppelin. So we re-wove its strings into Vi, the sacred water of life, instead. Are you worried the dihydrogen monoxide will rust your ferrous body parts?
Dihydrogen monoxide? Huh?
The molecular description of water, 2 hydrogen and 1
Isn't that Nostro's
oxygen
weakness?
atom embracing.
Right. No, it's just we need the utopian plane in one piece. Can you just like turn off the engine or something?
Ah, I see. Yes, of course.
Ooh, yeah, I want to know, how did the plants sprout and bloom so quickly?
So that's wild. Y'all can just turn jets into giant water droplets. But how in the world did you get plants to pop up in seconds?
We can slow time so that one can count grains of sand falling from an hourglass, or speed it so that flowers bloom and wilt like fireworks.
Right. I know it's way above my pay grade, but why are you pushing up bouquets in the middle of a firefight?
It is our Turiakna to heal the war-scarred people and land, the land that is our mother, into the thriving Garden of Eden she was meant to be. Perhaps the beauty of these blossoming elder siblings will help heal the hearts of the broken ones as well.
Alright.
We shall bring down a second death bird, without quantum polymorphing it.
Okay, so that's what we had to do. Well, we've got a Utro jet. Unfortunately, it's taken a bath in that little oasis pool. There's got to be a way to haul it out of the water so we can use it. Maybe now we use the anti-grav?
Oh no! We'll never get it out now.
So certain, are you?
Huh? Oh, right. I keep forgetting I'm tag teaming with the Masters of the Universe. Universes? Universi? How the... You work the impossible.
The threads that weave all things can be ropes of bondage, or lifelines pulling us from the waves, bringing us together. Seemingly unstoppable forces, like gravity itself, are merely ancient relatives. And when we understand the webwork, respect our relations, Grandfather Waite will gladly reverse gravitons and float a starship to shore for his descendants.
I don't even think I can understand how you work these miracles.
No, my young steel relative, you could move mountains in time. But you must see the cosmic tapestry, trace the web of life, and understand why mountains should not be moved for liquid remains of Jurassic ancestors, caconium fuel for death birds, or otherwise. Even the frayed edges between Venu-Oran and Utropian may be intertwined in time, but we must help restore sight to their blind ways.
I like the way their sort of like quantum reality warping techno magic is presented. It's very evocative. I love the sort of abstract nature of it. Almost like the Force in Star Wars, like, but when that was still an interesting concept and hadn't been turned into slop with, like, the midi-chlorians and stuff, I mean. But when it was this more kind of, like, abstract, like, ineffable cosmic energy that sort of radiated throughout the universe, that maybe, if you were enlightened enough, you could tap into. You know, before they just made it having a certain level of, like, cells in your blood and completely ruined it.
Sprinting past these killing fields won't work, but maybe I can fly using this utopian jet.
You are able to maneuver this death bird, steel relative?
You bet your antenna I can. I'm Nostromo 13917. High-tech design, utopian lieutenant, remember? Medal of Honor, 3 Purple Hearts. Actually, the military zapped a lot of those medals. But I know I flew the Screaming Talon over New Leningrad. I'm sure I can pilot this machine.
May Mother Yiden watch over you.
Was Screaming Talon the name of the military operation that, what's his name from Neuromancer was on? The thing that, like, psychologically broke him? Thanks, yeah, I worked a lot on how exactly they think and speak about everything in relative relational terms and using a lot of natural metaphors. You did a really good job. It does accurately sound like somebody trying to filter their own language through the limited framework of English.
These F-135s are crapo pieces of junk. Like aluminum cans with RC car motors.
But each one costs like 1 billion Zuckbucks. Typical utopian military.
You said it, Lith. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to foot it the rest of the way.
At least your cranial receiver's still working, even this far into enemy territory. Be careful out there, okay? I mean, 'cause, like, the fate of this world depends on it, obviously. That's all.
Yeah, thanks, Lith. I gotta admit, staying in one piece is not my forte, physically or mentally. But I will give it my best shot.
Good catch, Screaming Fit. Armitage! That's it. Sorry, yeah, I can remember, like, a lot of the names. It's been a while since I reread Neuromancer, but I can always remember a lot of the names of characters, because they, you know, pretty iconic, stick in your head easily. But for some reason, I was mind-blanking on Armitage. Yeah, Screaming Talon was, like, the mission he went on that crippled him and destroyed his mind, right? That the military just let him go on because I think they wanted to test out how effective the weapons were. You know, like in his backstory before Wintermute finds him and you know, takes over his personality. Oh wait, sorry, or is it Neuromancer finds him? And Wintermute is the AI it's trying to unite with. Or maybe I have that backwards. Yeah. It's been a while. I mean, I can remember the novel pretty well, but sometimes I get some of the names and stuff mixed up. But Screaming Talon just rung a bell. You know. Alright, let's look around. What's this? The box Lilith gave me to hack the Utropian military, and it's Doom. That's awesome. Shooting like fucking Jan 6 insurrectionists and white supremacists. What's it say on the side? Lilith, kick the asses of racist, sexist, dumpster people to hell and back.
Liv? Is this a military-grade hacking disc or a retro video game?
Both. If anyone asks, it's just a boomer shooter, obviously. If TSA at the spaceport tries installing it, they'll find a playable game with multiple levels, pixelated floaty guts, scoreboard, the whole shebang. But under the hood, it's a top-tier cyber war icebreaker.
Is Lilith a real game? Also, I love all the stickers that have been added to Nostro's hand now.
Right. So, Lilith, is that a real game? Never seen it on the Omnibox 451 game store.
Real legit game, made by yours truly. 4.5 stars on glitch.io, but review bombed by the angry man-baby armies from Screddit and 44chan. While I day jobbed as the tech whiz for Omni, I cooked up FPS indie games by night. I still do, even after I defected to the Galactic Silk Road. Sometimes you gotta blow off steam by blowing away misogynist, speciesist shitheads in a video game, you know? Makes the hellscape slightly more survivable.
Totally get that. Well, maybe when the dust settles, you can show me the ropes with some local co-op?
I'd be down for that.
Alright, end this conversation. Alright, what else can we look at around here? Bombing craters, destruction, bombing craters, dead bodies. Alright, let's just look at all of it. These explosion holes are pretty fresh, still glowing red. Endless, utter devastation of towns and cities, pulverized to rubble, littered with countless bodies. Once beautiful, pristine indigenous land is now disfigured with craters.
They already blew up the Venuora neighborhoods, schools, hospitals. Then they just keep bombarding the wreckage itself, endlessly pounding the land. Why? Why?
My hearts break for our lost siblings and the desecration of Mother Yeden's face. The Eutropians did not simply fall from the garden. They chose to burn the Green Mother who birthed them.
I do think about that a lot as well. Like, there's a great documentary from Werner Herzog called Hearts of Darkness. That's kind of like about Operation Desert Storm, but it's like narrated from and framed from the perspective almost as like an alien who doesn't know what humanity is, who's just kind of observing it from an outsider, and how like surreal and barbaric it was. Like, it's just destruction for its own sake. You know, yeah, bomb the wreckage, then bomb it again. You know, why? I guess to sate the eternal American bloodlust for this kind of thing. The weird, like, psychosexual fixation that Western Empire has on this. But, like, you know, to an alien race, to an outside, I mean, to a human being, it just seems, yeah, so absurd and point. Like, we literally do it because we can't imagine a world where this carnage doesn't exist. So we just perpetuate it endlessly for no reason. Should be a shock to the system, yeah. All these innocent people carpet bombed to death. This is what I did. This is the mass murder Omnison built me for. Alright, I guess we continue on foot for now.
They're carpet bombing up the wazoo over here. I better be careful. Hey, Liv, I've got a snowball's chance in a pyronado of getting through this bombing spree without being hit.
Yeah, or step on an unexploded cluster bomb fragment.
We in the West think it's normal, might is right. Yeah, I mean, we've always done that. You know, what were the like, you know, what was the Opium Wars, but that Empire always exports its misery overseas. But eventually it comes back home. It always does, you know? Like, people can see that, like, when the Opium Wars were happening, a lot of, like, British people at the time kind of started to lose faith in, like, the British ruling class, because they realized that the rot was at the heart of empire. Like, their royal family, their politicians, they were no better than drug-pushing thugs. They got all of Asia addicted and destroyed countless lives. For what? For some fucking spices? You know? But instead of actually rising up and pushing back against their, like, overlords, British people kind of just retreated into, like, a simplified fantasy world that was less scary and confronting than the reality that, you know, they were ruled over by pedophile god kings. You know, that's where the whole, like, English pastoralism movement comes from. You know, it was trying to revive this, like, pastoral, mythical vision of England that never really existed, that was always kind of a fabrication anyway. But revive it through, like, traditional English dance and song and all that kind of thing. You know, and then later down the line, some of those aesthetics would provide some of the inspiration for the look of the Ku Klux Klan. The Imperial Boomerang is coming back on us, but yeah, I mean, exactly, Sapatra. Like, it always comes back, yeah. England also just cracked down on Ireland harder again. Yeah, well, that too. But, yeah, no, that always inevitably happens. There's always blowback.
You may need to figure out another way past this area, or see if you can, I don't know, open a hole in their defenses?
Open a hole? Like, maybe you guys can send in the Venu Aura cavalry again?
Unfortunately, you are too far behind enemy lines for that.
These Eutropian yahoos are just bombing willy-nilly. It's obvious they're used to just blowing up innocent, defenseless civilians, or hitting the same crater they bombed a minute ago. Almost like they're getting paid based on how many missiles they fire. Anyway, if one of their starfighters were to be shot down, they might pause to recalibrate their tactics, like the Eutro cowards they are.
Okay, don't know if my M4A2 Pulsar rifle can shoot a plane down.
Maybe check out your grounded starfighter for something that could help?
Luckily, I don't see evidence of mines or cluster bombs, but I should check out the jet for a way to take down an enemy aircraft, like Lith said. A lot of the KKK were from Scotch-Irish planters, so they got a lot of their tactics from Orangemen. Yeah, if I remember correctly, like, the literal look of their uniforms was inspired by, like, these... I forget who wrote them, but it was these stories of, like, Scottish knights, basically. Except that the Scottish knights actually never dress like that. The guy who wrote it was like, I made it all up. It's just a story. None of it's real. Call of colonialism. I like the Liberty chips. Fun shapes for kids. And there's like an anime. There's like an anime fucking goon poster there too. Never forget what you're fighting for, soldier. What's waiting for you back home? This dude's big titty anime waifu right next to the crispy socks and Fountain Dew Code Red rivulets drizzling down the omnibox. She's obviously for cooling off after war criming and playing Grand Theft Astro and Call of Colonialism for 12 hours. You know, the weird thing is, considering with the rise of, like, drone warfare now, that probably does, like, accurately describe some soldiers' experience, since they're, like, you know, piloting a drone remotely and using it to, like, hunt down some Russian soldier or something. Omnibox. Omnibox 451. Most popular video console on Bizon. The Empire's fighter pilots are often button-mashing between genocidal bombing runs. In fact, the #1 recruitment tool for the Stormtrooper ranks is supposed to be AAA games and esports. Figures. I mean, that's probably true. Hey, thank you for the follow, Woody Hazel. That's probably quite true. Like, the drone pilots of tomorrow are the gamers of today. Controller. An Omnibox controller. Previous owner had 2 of them, but this cockpit's only got space for 1. What the hellion was this second controller for? Readouts and charts. More readouts and charts I don't need to mess with. Alright, I presume we have to look at the don't touch thing, but I want to investigate all the other stuff in here first. Another storage port? Is this where you download the uplink? This is the what's it? The Sagan Genesis box. My favorite game console. The Carl Sagan Genesis. My pleasure. What's up, buddy? Doing good, Hazel. Just playing some Neofeud 2. Where you stick the game cartridge? Or is it the blockbuster slot where you kindly rewind? Blue screen of death. This paleoware is blue screening out. I've blue screened of death to myself a few times. This one time after open mic night at Gibson's, I got booed off stage by a jerk-face audience. I fell into a raging depression, snorted 5 times the OD limit of liquid crystal lithium, saw stars and scan lines, and my motherboard was bricked for 3 days straight. Hold on a sec. The fuck is blue screened of death? Well, I think it means he, like, OD'd Electrica. That, I think it means that, like, Nostro OD'd. He snorted. Because remember, Mythium is the robot drug. It gets robots high. Call of Colonial. Yeah, no, Call of Colonialism's great. Previous owner was non-stop binging Call of Colonialism in his downtime, seems like. It's the chart topper on his most used apps list, blanketing his screensavers and desktop backgrounds. Plus, he's got a tweaker channel with wall-to-wall VODs of him sniping Congorian Sindarians in-game while babbling on about right-wing politics and wokeism. Yeah. I mean, it is a like good point that it's like, look, I'm not gonna say that if you play Call of Duty that means you're pro-colonialism. I think that's ridiculous and absurd, but like, it is certainly worth pointing out that like it's fucking weird how much media gets made that is just, like, unironically celebrating colonialism. How many video games, how many movies, you know, are just about playing as, like, a generic brown-haired American soldier gunning down third worlders, you know? Like, it's a little weird how much of a thing that is in culture. It's just, like, completely normalized, you know? Like, I've never personally cared for the Call of Duty games very much. I know some people really like them, and it's like, yeah, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people just think it's a fun shooter. It's less a point about, I think, that specific game, and more just, like, gaming in general, that it's strange that, a pretty significant portion of the games market is literally just like American imperialism simulators, you know? A bunch of Liberty chips. Captain Utopia wants you to commit war crimes. Throttle won't work. This death bird has flown the coop. Although it's probably provided air support to military-backed coup d'etats also. Alright, Actually, let me just read this. This button's a big no-no according to the Post-it. Maybe it's the eject button that a rookie pilot discovered by accident. Western Galactic Military jam-packs a year's worth of training into a week. Alright, Okay, I'm curious. What happens if I do touch this? I'm a dumbass with 3/4 of my cyber brain missing, but even I can take a hint. I'm not touching that button. Alright, what if we put this in? I can't insert the actual box into the disk drive. Oh, right. Okay. Yes. Disk.
Liv? Is this a military-grade hack?
Oh, wait, we already did this dialogue. Hold on. Conversation. Alright, let me try that. Then, I guess... oh, wait, yeah. Wrong disk drive. I'm dumb. Wrong way, Nostro.
This prehistoric disc really looks like the exact
I'm
size and shape
old.
of this receptacle.
I know the
Why
correct
doesn't
way
it
to put
fit?
them in.
Just a hunch, but maybe you're inserting the floppy disk backwards.
Oh, yeah. Let me try that. Hey, that worked.
Mm-hmm. The usual PEBCAC problem.
What?
Oh, nothing.
You can't escape the colonial BS in Australia, but the military stuff in schools here is getting more like the US model.
Holy crankshafts!
Yeah,
That's
I
a
mean,
real
thankfully it's not
playable
that
retro
bad
game
yet.
running on this Deathbird system.
Told you
Although
so.
I know what you mean. I do live in a Navy town where we got 1,600 US military personnel and their families moving here, constantly trying to recruit my kid.
Yes! Your hacking
Fuck yeah,
practices
we
have
hacked
worked,
it.
Liv.
Of course it did. They don't call me Countess Zero Cool for nothing.
Right? Exactly. What does Countess Zero Cool mean?
Esoteric hacker references. Don't worry about it.
Got it.
Yeah, we hacked
Well,
the
important thing
mainframe.
is, it looks like I can now target Utopian friendlies.
We
Plus,
jacked
this
off.
is a proof of
I mean,
concept for when we
jacked
need to disrupt
in.
the entire Utopian military network.
Time to smoke some airborne terror tyrants. Nice. No time for gaming. I gotta see if I can use this half-broken jet to help me. Okay, throttle, stick. There we go. Nice.
Nailed ya, you Top Gun son of a glitch.
My work here is finished. Time to eject.
Utro starfighters are running with their tails between their legs. Looks like those cowards are happy to dish out death and destruction, but can't handle a taste of their own medicine. I better move my metal butt on past this bombing zone before they come back with reinforcements, though.
I went to high school in the 90s in Australia and the US, so I probably noticed it more. Being near the Orca space, probably gonna cop it more too. Yeah, I guess that probably definitely has an influence on it. Like, I don't notice it as much, but I do basically live in the wokest... Like, I live in Melbourne, like, in the city of Melbourne. The wokest place in Australia. So it's probably way less prominent here. I mean, like, I have friends friends who join the military and stuff, like join the Navy. I'm in Perth. Okay, yeah, it's probably going to be way stronger in Perth, yeah. Yeah, no, that would be, because, yeah, like, at the very least in Melbourne, it's not too bad in that regard. I don't see, like, a ton of ads or anything. I mean, I don't have kids, Sapatra. Maybe I would notice it more if I had a kid in high school right now. Because, like, I was in high school in the 2000s. I graduated in 07. So, like, you know, I remember it for the War on Terror kind of stuff. Although, admittedly, I
better make a break for it.
I did go to private school, so we didn't really get too many military recruiters. Yeah, I basically live in the Australian version of, like, the Veneeran civilization. Like, I was watching a movie the other day in the cinema, and they literally, before the trailers started, they did a land acknowledgement. They did a land acknowledgement for, like, you know, like First Nations people. Like Indigenous Australians. Which, I mean, like, look, land acknowledgements are kind of meaningless. They don't really do anything to, like, you know, improve the lives or conditions of actual Indigenous Australians. It's kind of a meaningless, hollow gesture. But at least the way I feel about it is like, well, if it means so little, we can, at the very least, we can do that and just acknowledge it. I don't know. I was just like, damn, Melbourne is so woke. I love that I live here. Melbourne would be Portland. Yeah, Melbourne is like Portland / Seattle / like Vancouver, I guess. Like very woke. Yeah, Perth would be like Texas. Yeah. No, Western Australia is like kind of the Texas of Australia, I would say. New South Wales, I guess, is kind of California. Despite, like, I love how Sydney and Melbourne both fight about being the New York of Australia, and it's like, neither of you are like New York. Shut up. Sydney is kind of similar to LA, and Melbourne is like Seattle or Vancouver or Portland. Where it's rainy all the time and everybody's really woke, which is awesome. I love it. It's like part of why I moved here. Yeah, no, Australia has no New York. That's just like a fantasy Australians like to tell themselves because it makes them feel more cosmopolitan. I've been to New York. No city in this fucking country is like New York. Like, Queensland is Florida. Like 1,000%. Yeah, Queensland is the easiest one. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, super. Ooh, what's this? Kailatu gave me this powerful mystical artifact. I think she called it a Sekhmet staff. I have no idea how to use it, but she said members of the Elder race would. Alright. New York is a weird state. Not even a Chicago, let alone New York. Yeah. I mean, I'd prefer Chicago over a New York. I like Chicago way more. New York smells terrible, and there's garbage everywhere. Like, Chicago was a really nice, urbane, like, city with lots of interesting stuff to do and friendly people, and just seemed like a far more pleasant place to live overall than New York. I mean, I'm sure New York is great if you're a billionaire or whatever, but I was like, I'd live in Chicago, hands down. Chicago's way better. Very nice city. But yeah, I'd kill for an Australian Chicago. But Melbourne's still nice. I like living in Melbourne a lot. Can we talk to them? Maybe I should try to gather a bit more intel at a distance. Alright.
What are we doing here, man? These folks don't seem to wish us harm.
Don't kid yourself. These bugs would kill us as soon as look at us. Anyway, main thing, we're securing that oil and that Cacaconian stuff.
Maybe it ain't my place, but was it necessary to bomb so many Venusian villages?
Clear out the insect hives, you mean? Nothing to feel sorry about. We're just doing our job. Don't be a pussy.
Yeah, don't be a pussy. Just genocide the native
A
population.
few days later, evil critter
For American
bursting out of your
Empire.
chest or something.
Come on, man. You believe that? That's just some xenophobic alien movie bullshit.
You calling me a liar, boy?
Oh, no, I didn't say that. I thought we were supposed to bring them freedom and
I
democracy.
lived in Napierville,
Not
near
just go
Chicago.
around killing
Not
them,
live there
putting them
again.
in cages.
I didn't get to check out
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the rest of
Either
Illinois.
way, we
I
gotta
just
make
was
way
like
for
in
our
Chicago
utopias.
for a little bit.
Plus, there's a gold mine of trilithium and maltrolium stores here. Anyway, get your girly ass to your patrol, Private. Keep them commie buggers in check.
Yes, sir.
Are you questioning our genocide? Pussy. Okay. A black utopian soldier. I talk to him?
Hey, soldier, can I talk to you a minute?
You better get back to the front line before the sergeant takes a giant can opener to you.
You ever wonder why we're carrying plasma rifles for the Star-Spangled Roman? I mean, these racist species as Eutropians, they treat you as a lesser being just for the color of your skin.
It's not that
Naperville's
bad.
full of evangelicals. Most of Illinois
it's
is
just
pretty red.
harmless joking.
Oh yeah, I wasn't
I'm
saying like
proud to fight
Chicago
for
was
my
particularly
country,
woke.
Just as you
Just
should
that it was
be.
a very nice city
We're
when I went
helping
there.
liberate the galaxy.
Come on, bro. Do you really
Like
buy
nice as
that
in
recruiter
quality of life,
bullshit?
I mean, if
Did
you
know
lived
the
there.
Little Orange invented stargates can spawn suns with the snap of their fingers? They make Eutropians look like cavemen.
No way. That ain't possible. Everyone knows that the Venurians are authoritarian, backward savages that we gotta civilize.
Who's everyone? Your CEO? Your lying government and corporations that treat common folks, especially non-pasties and non-meaties, like garbage? You know, on the humans' homeworld, they called black folks the dark, savage peoples too, subjugated and enslaved them, just like you're helping do to these natives, shackling the Kongori into chain gangs.
That ain't possible. The dark people of Earth were like animals throwing spears at each other, living in mud huts till the white folk educated, elevated us. That's common knowledge.
Yeah, that's the American
Common
approved
knowledge is
version
common
of history.
brainwashing in the Western galaxy. I know from
It's so
experience.
fucked up.
You should take pride in your heritage and the colonized peoples of Earth that fought empires like these Eutropian dickheads centuries ago. You could carry the torch, keep fighting for true liberation as part of the Galactic Silk Road.
How the hellion do you know all this? You're just a neurolocked kill machine built to follow orders. Like a Roomba with a blaster.
I might have been unplugged from their grid, you could say. Had the revolutionary works of Proto J, Malcolm X installed in my neural bits and bytes. Overwritten over the war propaganda and the Western galactic BS, wasting my hard drive space.
Even if you're right about the Eutropians and their war crimes, I need the money. Ain't no jobs to pay a living wage in Eutropia. My mama's medical bills are through the roof. The military said they'd forgive the $100K in Medidebt, pay me enough to get an apartment for me and her to live in, so we could stop sleeping rough. I can handle living in my car, but I can't just let her die.
Hey, the Utro military are liars. They screwed me out of my energy stamps, VA Mecha Care, and trashed me like a used Kleenex when I wasn't doing their dirty work. B, the Venuran civilization cares for
Chicago's
all
pretty
people
woke.
of
Oh, I mean, I'm
all
sure
colors,
cities always are,
planets,
typically,
substrates,
compared to the suburbs.
Really cares for them. No questions asked. Like, everyone is family. From the shoulder of Orion
Very
to
expensive.
Big Dipper's
Oh, of
shining
course,
sea.
yeah.
You know that M4A everyone's still begging for centuries? The debt forgiveness and infrastructure the lion liberal politicians keep promising but never deliver in douche-topia? The Venu-Orans have had universal healthcare, housing, food, education, mental health, infinite clean energy, and full equality for all races, even four-leggeds and artificial intelligences. In fact, they'll wizard up snowstorms in summer just to make Hoth ice minotaurs feel more comfortable. Let them build ice sculptures and have snowball fights. Forget Medicare for all. The native people of this planet have had universal everything for literally millions of years or more. It blows my entire robo-mind. If you defect as a stormtrooper of the Empire, they'll help you also.
But I killed so many of their kind, and others on Cinderia, the firebombing of Toria. I've done horrible things.
I know, brother. I flew the Starfire over New Leningrad. My memory was wiped, but I probably spilled blood of every color of the Electric Peacock's feathers. I didn't deserve their help. I even attacked, nearly killed the Venu-Oran in their own homeland, but they helped, saved me anyway. That's what makes them the elder race. They told me they understood I was just trying to survive the crushing boot heel of my speciesist, racist, gajillionaire rulers. They cared for me all the same, like a long-lost sibling, like family.
You know what? Screw this flower supremacist, broken-ass utopian empire.
That's the spirit, comrade.
Hell yeah.
Just help me with a little mission and I'll put you in contact with the Galactic Silk Road.
Okay, what do you want?
I'm on an infiltration operation. If I succeed, maybe we can stop this war, end this needless blood and oil shed.
Sorry, man. I want to help, but I don't run the checkpoint. I'm just on low-rung patrol duty.
Who does run it? Yeah, let's ask
Who
that.
does run it? Think they'll help us out?
Nah, those guys are hate-filled, bigoted dickheads that just sign up to kill them some bugs. They didn't even need the money. They lived in some rich suburb in Muskland, making right-wing podcasts from their mama's basement.
Of course.
Those two
of course.
fair-skinned utopian soldiers.
Them's the ones constantly itching to add notches to their KKK belt. It's sick, I tell you. Half this damn military is bastards like them. The other half is broke non-pure breed and non-human types like me and you, just trying to survive.
It's so fucked up there are actually people who do this kind of thing. But there definitely are. Like, a friend of mine who joined the Navy told me a story once about how he was at, like, a family dinner with his cousins and stuff, and he was talking to his cousin who he was sitting next to, who had just joined the police force, and he was like, "Oh, so why did you join the cops? What made you want to become a cop? And he just looked him dead in the eye and like went, to teach some fucking lebs a lesson, and like punched his, like, you know, held his palm out and like punched it. And that was his stated reason for joining the police force. So he could do hate crimes on Lebanese people. And I always think about how there's, like, you know, some people in the military, you know, or in the cops are just poor, lower, like, working class people who are trying to get by, people of color, potentially, who just, yeah, doing it because of the poverty draft or something. But there's also there's definitely a decent amount of people in the military and police force who are like my friend's cousin, where they did. No. My friend who's the Navy dude didn't say that, Sapatra. He was horrified by that. He told me that, like, this is a fucked up thing that my cousin said the other day. His cousin said that was why he was joining the cops. This was before he joined the cops. The guy I'm talking about, like my friend, is actually like a former heroin addict and like failed musician. He was a rent boy for a little while too. He joined the Navy because he was directionless in life, and wanted to get like free training on how to do like engineering stuff, which is basically what he did. Like, he got himself assigned to be like a ship, like a maintenance ship repairer kind of role, and then basically just did that for years and years. But yeah, it was his cousin who signed up with the cops, who was the racist. I mean, why would you sign up to the Navy to do hate crimes? Like, most of being in the Navy is just like sitting on a boat and trying not to fuck each other. I mean, to, you know, be a little bit reductive, but like, you know, if you wanted to hate crime minorities, you would be a cop or an infantryman soldier, I guess. A lot of people do it for the free education, which is so messed up. Oh yeah, no, absolutely, Sapatra. Yeah, because they pay for your education, they give you free room and board, you earn money while you're doing it, you know. In many ways, it sounds like a good deal. You just have to be a tool of the Australian military-industrial complex. Yeah, Army would be better for... Well, in the Army, you get to actually kill them. I guess it depends on how much of a bloodthirsty psychopath you are, whether or not you want to, like, shoot them or just beat them half to death, but, like, still leave them alive and bully them and stuff, you know?
My neural registry is out of date. I don't think I can just talk my way past the Eutropian guards. Any ideas?
It's a long shot, but those fast asswipes blew up that native building over there and used it as a false flag to justify a military crackdown and go on a killing spree of enemy insurgents. Pretty sure one of our Nostro 1492 metal militia units was inside when they set off the C4.
Another bot soldier like me?
Yep. They hate thinking machines like you, too. They get bored enough, they'll use your face for target practice. Anyway, if you could excavate the Nostro unit's body from that mess, you might be able to scavenge some digit dog tags, help you slip past the Utro scanners.
If the dog tags weren't damaged in the bombing.
Uh-huh. Like I said, it's a long shot. But what do you got to lose, brother?
Alright. The hazing in the Navy here is awful. I know guys with PTSD from the Navy. Maybe my friend just never mentioned it to me. that I mean, maybe it wasn't like, I don't know. When my friend signed up for the Navy, Sapatra, he was in his late 20s, I want to say. Like, I can't remember exactly how old he was, but he was around that age. It makes, like, not that it would be impossible, but it's like, I feel like it would be really easy to brutally haze a 19-year-old compared to, like, somebody who's, say, almost 30 years old. Because, like, a 19-year-old is going to be way more out of their element and unsure of themselves and won't have the, like, you know, backbone to go like, whoa, guy, I'm not shoving this up my ass. I don't care what you say. Like, I like, you know what I mean? But I mean, quite possibly it was very bad. Australia we don't have frats, but we do love our brutal hazings. That's another reason kids should not join. Yeah. But they all do. Like, that was something my friend complained to me about. I remember it was just like, as you would know, like, if you're in the Navy or the Army or whatever, part of your duties involves spending, like, X amount of time at the barracks, just kind of being on call, even if there's not necessarily anything you had to do. So that meant my friend had to spend a lot of time hanging out in, like, the Navy, you know, like, whatever, like, shipyard at the living quarters section. He had to spend a lot of that hanging out with a bunch of, like, 18 and 19-year-olds. And just, like, as, again, like, you know, not that you can't be friends with someone younger than you, but he was just like, yeah, it's really annoying, man. Like, I'm so sick of them arguing about who could drink more vodka cruises or whatever. Like, you know, because they, like, 19-year-olds, like, they really only care about two things: how much you can drink or, like, getting laid. And so he was losing his mind because of how bad at conversation they all were. A 27-year-old will easily just say, no, fuck off, I don't care. Exactly, yeah, Maracas, yeah. 16 here. Yeah, that's absurd that you can join it that young. I mean, 18 is too young, but it's ridiculous. Didn't you all invent Soggy Biscuit? Don't know about that. It wouldn't surprise me, though. Australians do like some psychosexual hazing. I've told this anecdote many times before on stream because it's so absurd and fucked up. But, like, I did a semester at a university in Bathurst at one point. Bathurst is like a small Australian town. Kind of far out from, like, Sydney in New South Wales. It's somewhat famous for having a car race, like, that happens there every year that's, like, pretty big, that gets broadcast on Australian television. But there was also a university there with, like, a very good communications program. I did a semester there, but I could not stand living in Bathurst. I was losing my mind, so I left. But during the course of my time there, I became friends with a bunch of these, like, absolute buffhead dude bros who were all members of, like, the rugby team, like the rugby club, the university rugby club. I became friends with them. I was sort of like this, like, Australians would refer to me as, like, the professor, I guess. I was like their one intelligent friend. I became friends with them because we had, like, a marketing class together. And because we were in the same, like, dorm kind of building, I would just partner with them on group projects, and they could, like, barely read. So I had to kind of explain everything to them. They thought I was the smartest dude in the world. It was very funny. But, like, they were telling me about the hazing rituals that they had to do as part of, like, signing up for, like, the rugby club, which were like all like hyper homoerotic and borderline sexual assault kind of things. I was baffled. I was like, why did you agree to do any of this? This sounds like the quite literally gayest thing ever. Like, when they admitted, they're like, yeah, it's pretty gay. I felt really uncomfortable. I'm just trying not to think about it. It was so fucked what they did to them. And I was just like, really? All of this just to join, like, a football club? Why? Hey, Reynolds, how's it going?
Can you show me where they blew up the Venezuelan building?
Sure, follow me. There's the demolished building. I'm 90% certain there's a
We have
blown-up
obligatory military service if you're
beneath that
qualified.
mess.
That sucks,
Okay,
Bodge.
thanks for your help, brother.
No problem. Thanks for pulling the wool off my eyes. I'm gonna start working on my plan to get out of this evil-ass empire.
Now that I think about it, a lot of hazing seems like an excuse to do gay shit without feeling gay. Yeah, they need like an intermediary to kind of act as like a proxy barrier to make it not gay. It's the same thing with like how Australian football, like rugby players, have this weird habit of doing group sex all the time. Like, you know, like fucking the same woman, basically. And when interviewed by it, it basically comes out that it's like this weird form of team bonding. What they essentially wanted to do was fuck each other, but because they're like totally hetero and not gay, they fucked a woman together, kind of using her as sort of like a artificial barrier to make it not gay in their minds. I just looked up Bathurst. Their downtown looks like a suburb. I'm impressed you lasted a semester. Oh yeah, it was rough, Maracas. It was rough. I saw so many like pregnant women chain smoking. At one point I was walking across the road and I could hear someone on the phone and I heard a portion of their conversation which was something to the effect of, so I said to him, I asked him, I said, Barry, you haven't stabbed someone again, have you, mate? And I was like, oh my god, I need to get out of this fucking town. I need to get out of this fucking town full of bogans. I'm losing my mind here. So I transferred to a different university. It's funny because I was doing very well at Bath. I was actually like the top marketing student for the entire year. Because I was like the only person who tried even a little bit. It was very funny. That actually is what helped me transfer universities after a semester. Because I was like my marks were all very high. My hubby always avoided football clubs. His mates who play footy are always the worst at doing stupid shit when they drink. Yeah, I mean, it's like wake and fright. There's something about Australians. I don't know if it's the heat or what, but like, we're all just a bunch of like dumb, savage dogs, you know, and when we drink, the animal always comes out. You know, I mean, I love a beer or even 10, but like, yeah, Australians are kind of I mean, I guess it's the dark side of our charm, you know, our bluntness and you know, kind of like directness is we're also, it can be quite boorish, very racist at times, you know, like very casualized racism. I'm drinking rice wine right now. Nice. I live in a well-known bogan town, but I'm bogan pretty much. Look, I'm sure you can live a perfect. Like, I'm just a silver spoon, like, inner city, like, little princeling. I can't handle the country. I'm sure there's many salt of the earth people in Bathurst who I would get along with famously. But there's also a lot of people who I'm just like, I don't want to interact with you. I feel like there's nothing of value that could be exchanged between us. Colonial settler cultures tend to be bloody horrible, really. Yeah, there's always a kind of brutality. Like a crude violence to us. Yeah, I know what you mean. I feel like that's why a lot of our best like movies and stuff reflect that idea, like, you know, Mad Max or Wake in Fright. Like the dark heart of Australia is a savage and cruel one. Just, you know, below the smiling, charming like accent and like laughing exterior, there's a violent, cruel heart in every Australian man. I mean, Bogan from a class. No, I get you, Sapatra. I understand. I understand. Politically, I'm not what someone would think a Bogan is, probably. No, yeah, I mean, you seem very progressive. But I get what you mean, like class-wise, like economically. I get you. I cried watching Wake in Fright. That movie was so soul-crushing. Yeah, I love Wake in Fright because it's like a horror movie where nothing traditionally horror happens. Like, you know, there's no serial killer killing people. There's no spooky ghosts or vampires. There's no Draculas or anything. But it's still somehow one of the bleakest, most horrifying movies ever made. It really is like the Heart of Darkness or Apocalypse Now of Australia. Or Kangaroo Jack, also an existentially devastating experience. I don't vote One Nation. Yeah, no, fuck those people. Fuck those people. Fucking idiots. I'm so deeply ashamed that One Nation has even been able to resurrect its political fortunes. Like, it's such a failure of our political class that Pauline Hanson is, like, fucking anywhere near Parliament. Or at this point is, like, almost the de facto Conservative Party of Australia because the, you know, coalition is in such disarray. You reminded me of the college I went to that was a poor area in my city, and I remember overhearing these trailer park teens at a bus stop talking about how he stabbed a guy for calling his sister a skank on Snapchat, and his buddy going on about how he shouldn't be here because he's still suspended for throwing a brick through a window. Yeah, I know what you mean, Maracus. Like, we really do live in different worlds sometimes, you know. It's like Farage in the UK. Yeah, basically. But yeah, I mean, just because I'm reminded of Bathurst again, and this is such a perfect example, too, of how, you know, like, oh, we're such a clean, nice, safe country. But there's still that hideous violence lurking under the under the surface, barely waiting to be there. So, when I was at Bathurst, there were these big dorm buildings that I lived in. There was a lot of student accommodation. But the particular one that I lived in had this really long road running behind it that basically ran, like, through the entire university. The dorms were quite far in, like, the center of the university grounds. This road was, like, a straight shot from, like, connecting, like, the dorms there to, you know, the roads that the university connected to exit onto, right? So it was very convenient if you were walking to and from town to, like, go via that road. There were also not a lot of street lights on that road. And for that reason, we just called the road Rape Alley. Because there were a lot of rapes that happened there. Like, all the time. The fucking townies, and again, it's like, I'm sure there are many lovely, noble people who are good human beings who live in bogan towns. But there's also lots of horrible monsters. Because, it was a thing where, the townies would just hide in the bushes or something and then burst out and, sexually assault some woman who was walking home from the bars. When I first arrived at the university, they literally gave us a warning about Rape Alley and also told us, don't ever invite townies back to the university because they will rape you. And you know what? That one term that I was there, multiple sexual assaults happened. So, it's so safe. It's this quaint Australian country town. Oh, so much safer than the city. But, there's a literal, large-scale rape epidemic happening, and it's so normalized, nobody even pays attention to it anymore. They literally just go, well, shouldn't have been walking down Rape Alley then, sweetheart. They didn't even make a big deal about it when it happened. They were just like, so, someone got raped last night in Rape Alley. Don't freak out or anything. Just don't walk down that street. It was fucking bleak. So, I was just like, I need to get out of this town. I'm losing my mind here. Even though she's not as bad. If you're, Pauline Hanson as PM, you guys can't make fun of Americans as much. Yeah, I mean, that's a literal nightmare scenario, Maracas. So you got bigger things to worry about, if that's the case. The town folk would have known who the rapists are and protected them. Oh yeah, I'm sure it was an open secret, because they kind of despised us. As much as we helped keep their economy afloat. And look, I'm sure university students can be annoying having them in your town too, but there was a real contempt they seemed to possess. I think maybe it was just sort of a resentfulness of they were people who are stuck in this miserable town and are probably going to live and die there. And they saw the university students as privileged, rich kids who are coming here to party and ruin the town. And then they go off to their big city jobs after that. So, there was probably some class resentment there too. I lived in a lot of mining towns. That's just the culture. Yeah, exactly, Sapatra. Obviously, I have great empathy and sympathy for working class people in small, shitty towns like that. But I also don't have some weird, noble savage perception of them where I'm no, they're all perfect communists who just need to be radicalized by reading Das Kapital, and then we'll have the working class upright. There's a lot of fucking lumpenprole chuds in there too. Country towns hate blow-ins, yeah. It's that parochial kind of fear of outsiders. This must be the natives' abode that was blown up by those speciesist utopian soldiers to justify a genocidal killing spree. Isn't this one of those Teresa lights, Tessellite crystals?
Hey, Kai. I thought the Ugorians forbid your uber high tech. What's this super gem doing here?
It is true. Our strict traditionalist neighbors would frown at the sight. The Utopian forces may have seized this tessellite stone during a skirmish and brought it to this locale.
What? Why would you let them do that? This thing is worth a neo-feudal king's ransom.
We do not care for money, nor extortion in exchange for gold-helmed tyrants, Steel One.
I know, but still, you're just gonna let the big rotten apple add to its stockpile?
The diapered infant Eutropians.
What even is this
are
game?
incapable
Neofeud
of
2.
harnessing the hyperpower of Tessellite. And while individuals may enrich themselves selling the stone, the flooding of the market with vast amounts of synthetic ultra-valuable diamonds will ultimately disrupt their so-called Wall Street, upending the tables of the money-changing thieves. Perhaps we offered them this tessellite on purpose.
They're just settlers and have less of a city veneer about it. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, half of them are fucking land barons with massive farms, but they think they're more like, dinky-die, true blue, working-class Aussies, because they speak with a thicker accent. They speak with, like, an ochre accent, and they wear a cowboy hat. Meanwhile, they're basically fucking Barnaby Joyce, it's all just a LARP. It's funny how class expresses itself in those ways. 1,000%, a lot of rural people are ignorant arseholes, but that doesn't mean... Oh, no, I agree that their disenfranchisement still matters, Maracas. Like, I want a fairer, more equitable society for everyone. Like, including conservatives, and people who would oppose it and think that's evil and bad. Like, the goal of, a more redistributive government is to uplift the living standards of everyone. Of course their disenfranchisement matters. It's very easy to balance these two ideas. I don't know why so many people struggle. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, both things can be true. Alright, is there anything else to look at for extra, flavor dialogue? Oh, body of a Nostromo. This must be a native's... Alright, hold on. Let me see if I can interact with that. These pieces of stone or lava rock or whatnot look pretty heavy. Alright, let me use my robo arm, I guess. This last slab is too big for me, even with my strength augs maxed out. Can I cut through it? Can I get the Nostromo now? I've cleared as much rubble as I can. There's still one really big rock. I might need assistance with that sucker. Maybe I use this. Let me walk around and see if there's anything else to look at here. Anything else I can interact with? Oh wait, maybe I use this on this? Can't figure that out. Nope. There's a weird phenomenon across the Western world where multimillionaire land barons are treated as more working class than, a poor adjunct professor because the former has an earthier vibe. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, it's like, I, a billionaire, am working class because I have a country accent and wear a cowboy hat. You, a underpaid columnist for the New York Times, are part of the ruling class because you are a cultured, pretentious, inner-city intellectual. I remember seeing a tweet that summed that up really well from someone where they were like, I think the real thing is that, it's a culture war, but people don't understand it correctly. Somebody who's, who's got a high class, you know, like upper class, that's not a billionaire. It's like a guy who runs the PTA. And Elon Musk is working class. And I was like, wow, good job, buddy. You got that completely backwards. But sure, very illustrative. A lot of class politics, ironically, feel a lot more like identity politics. I know what you mean. I think it's because, like, at the very least, class is kind of more abstract in some of the West. It's still quite overt in, say, like, the UK, I think. I mean, they have a literal royal family. But, like, in Australia and America and stuff, and, like, Canada, class is kind of a little bit more vague, a little bit abstracted. You know, everybody likes to pretend they're in the middle class, rich people and poor people. You know, and so when it becomes so abstract, it ends up devolving into a weird form of, like, idpol. Yeah, cattle baron logic, exactly. Also, hold on, I'll be back in 1 sec. I need to quickly take a piss. Alright, I'm back. Pollies do their best to turn class politics into identity politics here. More like a US version of identity politics in Australia. And identity politics is not necessarily bad. Yeah, I mean, it's not the worst. It's just like, I don't know. A lot of the time it feels like... not exactly counterproductive, but just like, you know, it feels like the kind of thing to discuss after we've won the class revolution. Like, I don't know. It's weird, because, yeah, like, a lot of it does feel like it's just reframed, like, class conflict. It's just trying to, like, redirect that energy towards pointless culture war fight stuff. I'm not saying, like, some of those cultural issues aren't important to, like, discuss and implement, of course, but yeah, it does feel like it's a little bit of a smokescreen at times. My family is Irish, so identity politics means something different. Right. I mean more just, like, pointless culture war crap, Sapatra. You know, like, fucking Fox News reports on how you can't say Merry Christmas anymore, or whatever. Like, stuff that's just designed to be, like, the cultural panic around trans people. It's stuff that's just designed to waste the electorate's time and, like, fritter away their political energy on, you know, pointless stuff that doesn't really fucking affect their lives at all. It's like, even if you don't like trans people particularly, why do you fucking care about what they do with their lives? It doesn't make any difference to you. Like, you don't know any trans people, so, like, why do you give a fuck? You know? Yeah, I mean, yeah, we got Sky News. Not like, something like 95% of the newspapers in this country are owned by Rupert Murdoch, or thereabouts. If it's not him, it's some other fucking Australian media baron. So, yeah, we very much have, like, controlled opposition, of course. At least Sky News doesn't have as much of a cultural stranglehold on like old people that Fox News does. They tried to kind of make it that, but Australians just weren't into it. I think it's partly because it's an easier sell with American politics, because American politics is a lot closer to professional wrestling. Australian politics is quite dry and boring by comparison. I mean, America literally has a professional wrestler as president right now. Trump is a WWE wrestler, so, you know. Who can we call for help? Is there someone else maybe back here? Identity politics is mainly used to be even worse to First Nations here too. Yeah. Yeah. Can I ask him to help maybe? Let me try. Okay, I guess not. Alright. Murdoch style really took off in the US. Yeah. Yeah, no, it was... that's where it really went, like, out of control. Like, Sky News is a thing, but a lot of people don't really pay any attention to it. A lot of Australians barely watch the news. I need assist. Yeah, okay, I need help somehow, but like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing on this. Maybe I have to interact with the crystal somehow? It's so weird because people in Europe and the non-West proudly admit that they were born into rich, powerful families, but in the USA and Commonwealth, there's this weird denial because they have to pretend to be self-made. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I never understood that. I think faking having a working class background when you came from privilege is so embarrassing and pathetic. Just admit that you grew up privileged. It's fine. As long as you're not like a piece of shit now. I don't know if there are really identity politics in Russia, but we certainly try to promote being part of Russian civilization and our traditional family value. I mean, that is identity politics, Reynolds. That's like literally about like ensuring the continuation of like the white race, the white Russian race. That's like textbook. That's textbook identity politics. It's all about like elevating the idea of a Russian racial consciousness, basically. I guess I'm just somewhat negative on IdPol too, because I feel like the I don't know, after 10 years or more of it being a pretty culturally dominant talking point, I feel like the only long-term effect it's had is just kind of like basically like radicalizing a lot of dumb white people into having racial consciousness and deciding they want to be Nazis now. Not like intentionally or anything, but just as an unintended side effect. Because it made dumb people who never should have thought about race very deeply think about race very deeply, and then get into things like phrenology and evolutionary biology and crap. Well, not evolutionary biology, the fucking biological determinism. I'm in WA, so most working class are now. Yeah, I mean, WA is a very specific example. Australia does have some weird states like that, just because the economy tends to be self-selecting over time. Like, all the people who are smart leave and go to other states because there's more economic opportunity for them there. It's why about 50% of the population of Tasmania is functionally illiterate. They can't read. Only tradies can afford a house. Yeah. Yeah, it is absurd how much money tradies make. I mean, in some ways I like it. It's great that, like, working class laborers can make a shit ton of money. But it is a peculiar thing where just, like, due to peculiarities in the Australian economy, tradie is, like, one of the most highly paid jobs you can have if you do it right. Tradies, like tradesmen Reynolds, like carpenters, plumbers, electricians, joiners. It's just a catch-all term we have for tradesmen. Not great when teachers and nurses can't afford to live here. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying, Sapatra. You know, like, that is absurd and appalling, but also it's like, I don't know. I do kind of like that they're highly paid, if only just because, like, in countries like America, if you were hiring tradies, they would probably often be, like, illegal immigrants who you would be paying fuck all if you didn't just call ICE up on them after they were done with the job, you know? Like, that's what the average American does when they want to do a little home renovation. At least in Australia, they get paid a fuck ton. But, like, I do agree it's absurd that doctors and, well, not doctors, but nurses and teachers are appallingly underpaid comparatively. Tradies here are not class. Oh, yeah, no, like, they are some of the biggest homophobes and misogynists you'll ever meet. Cashed up tradies are the worst. But again, it's part of the thing of, like, you know, you even want people you're politically opposed to be well paid and comfortable and, you know, like, materially having their needs met, because that's the goal for all of society. What do I do here? Missing anything else in here that I haven't, like, interacted with? I'm just trying to think of what else I would need here. Because, yeah, I clearly need help I feel like I need to convince the soldier, but I don't know how to do that. Most of my family are tradies, so I'm against them. It's just frustrating to deal with. Yeah, I mean, exactly. I mean, as always, it's a complicated situation. He just repeats. What am I supposed to be doing here? Is there a way for me to, like, call my teammates that I've forgotten? Can I walk up there? Oh, I can. Oh, there's a oh, okay. Fuck, I didn't even notice it there. All right, okay, that's clearly who I need to talk to. Okay.
Yaura, friend. I come in peace.
Lies! You come to put me in a cage, to torture this body like the others.
Huh? What? No, I just want to talk.
I do not wish to talk to you.
No, hey, it's not what you think. I'm here to help.
That is what the Space Invader said before scoring Mother Eden, despoiling the garden, putting us, your elders, in chains. You are a steel murderer, a creation of Yanyu, the broken dragon. You come to destroy.
Yes, I have done that. I'm sorry, but now I'm here to help. I've changed sides, and now I've been sent here by your High Steward. I'm with the Venuran civilization.
The veterans sent you? Really? There is much rancor, resentment between the Ugarians who retain strict tradition and our cousins who embrace the lightning vine and the Hoku Vakar. My tribe has vomited her insides drinking your poison water. I have lost cousins to the blast of your primitive firecracker sticks. You will understand that I do not trust your empty words, Metawan.
Gates, damn. When you put it that way, I wouldn't trust me either.
I've got to think of some way I can prove to this local of the Elder race that they can trust me. I'm a Sparky, yeah, my colleagues are generally not the wokest. Yeah, I meant not against them. I basically figured what you meant, Sapatra. I thought you were just saying like you were politically opposed to, like politically opposite to most of your family. I didn't think you were saying like they were your enemies or anything. I got what you were saying. Like it's just annoying to have to fucking deal with all the time. I'll ask again, what is the story of this game? Well, I don't know. I haven't beaten the game yet, Reynolds. But this is a sequel to Neofeud, which is a cyberpunk political satire point-and-click adventure game I played a con stream a couple of years ago. The VODs also highlighted on my Twitch channel, and they're also on my YouTube too. My VOD archive channel. But it's a cyberpunk political satire of like kind of everything that's going on in the world right now with like AI and the rise of techno-fascism and pedophile elites turning the world into a fucking Orwellian surveillance nightmare and all that kind of thing. Just like, exaggerated allegorically and it's very funny and self-aware. I'm friendly with the creator as well, Silver Spook. They stop by stream sometimes while I'm playing because the sequel just came out, so they've been stopping by stream while I've been playing. To give some commentary on it. They were in chat earlier in stream, like a few hours ago.
Tell me about this trouble between yourselves and the Venurans.
The Veterans? Yes, our branches grew apart ice ages ago. Many of we Ugarians view our cousins as misguided, having lost their bearings when they gorged themselves on lightning, twisted themselves in copper serpents of technology, corrupted themselves.
And what about you? Do you
That does sound interesting.
Your
Yeah, it's
fellow
great.
Ugarians?
Months ago, I would have said yes. I am proud
It's about
of
like
the red
colonialism
legacy of
and
Gloria,
American
and there is
imperialism
immense
and
value to our ancient traditions
it's
of
they're very
unveiling
deep
living
games with great
wood
writing.
carving, stone masonry. But perhaps we will hasten to judge our world-weaving, star-faring relatives. And such terrible tragedy has befallen us. The star-shaped armies outmatch our warriors. The mind tentacles ensnare our young in these boarding schools. We are losing the struggle, with hope dimming daily. It is possible it is we Ugarians who have lost a vital indigenous-like way. Our ability to adapt, to reweave ourselves in the face of new headwinds, shifting sands. I do believe we must swallow our pride now and seek help.
Great.
If it proves itself not to be treachery.
Right.
And The entire game was done by basically one person, Silver Spook. They wrote the script, did all the art, programmed the game. They do a lot of the voice acting as well, although they did hire other voice actors to voice some of the characters. But Silver Spook does voice a fair amount of them. Like, Silver Spook is voicing the cyborg, or the robot guy that I'm playing as, Nostromo. And they also did the score, like the music that you're hearing right now. The soundtrack is great. I love it. It sounds awesome. But yeah, Silver Spook did the score too. That makes me wonder if you played Disco Elysium. You probably did, but I missed it. I did. I did a full playthrough on stream. Once a week. It took me months. It was great.
What is it you'd like me to do?
Oh, I guess I know what we have to
Show
do.
that you are not the iron
We have to show her the
incarnation
thing.
of the ones. I cannot simply trust a space invader at their word. All they do is lie.
That's really impressive. That was kind of my childhood dream, to make my own game. Well, Silver Spook made that a reality. I mean, they've made other games as well too, but I feel like Neofeud 1 and 2 is kind of their magnum opus. I think these games are as legitimately good as novels like Neuromancer or Snow Crash as far as like cyberpunk fiction goes. They're great. Neofeud is great for teens. Yeah, I would think it would be a good game for kids to introduce, because it's like got a very interesting story and it's very funny and isn't afraid to be edgy sometimes and stuff. I think it would be a great like introduction to a lot of these things. Like Neuromancer is a like classic teen book, you know. I think I read that when I was like 15 or something. Blew my mind, you know. Neofeud, yeah, would be great for teens to teach them about all of these concepts and ideas. If I ever become Prime Minister of Australia, I'll mandate that children have to play this in schools.
Hey there. I'm sorry for all of these terrible things the Utopians have that I and folks like me have done. I know this can't make up for everything you suffered, but perhaps this magical wizard staff can help you?
I'd vote for you, thank you, Sapatra.
The sickness staff? Yes, the coral facet of the staff may heal the vine sickened by the black snakes. Our high catechers banned the use of segment before the turquoise arteries of the Veneer River reversed flow and ran red as fire millennia ago. It's nanotechnology reshaped, recolored, restore our vine, but it was believed the segment's power, overused, would unground us from caring for us mother and her blue veins.
That single policy alone is enough, yeah. No, I mean, I think this... I spent my teenage years stuffing my brain full of stuff like this, and it was great, you know. I think that's what being a teenager is all about, is, yeah, like, reading books and, you know, being exposed to all these big ideas that are even maybe too big for you to fully understand at the time, but it's so exhilarating getting to learn all that stuff for the first time, you know? And I mean, kids don't really like to read that much anymore. Obviously, some kids are still readers. They'll always be readers. But, like, a video game like this would be a great way of yeah, doing the modern version of that, you know?
you, Steel One, for your assistance.
I hope this helps your peak. Actually, I'm curious to know how she purified the
How
water.
exactly did you purify that filthy water?
The coral brings life where there is inertness, healing when there is sickness. The spiral of life, symbolized in the unfurling fern. It is the umbilical connecting mother to baby in the womb. The galactic galley, wrapped with stars, and the volcanic summit, birthing new land.
Right, yeah. That's super cool.
I hope this
I
helps your
hope
people.
this helps your sickened child and the rest of your people. I'm sorry again that all this happened.
Yes, healed water will be a boon to my Keiki and our village. You say you were dispatched by the apex of the cosmic tree? What is your name?
You mean the Venu Oran civilization? My handler's handle is Kailatu.
Kailatu the Great? The name is heralded across these lands. Kailatu who knelt in every soil of the Garden of Eden, when the unhealed ones first brought their death birds, turned the fresh wine of Sky Father to oily poison with their black serpents.
Whoa! I didn't realize I was chumming around with an esteemed war hero of the Elder race.
If what you say is true, it is my secret to react not to assist you.
Thank you. I'm Nostromo, by the way. What should I call you?
I have many names, but you may call me Baraksa.
Thanks for the stream. I gotta go take my kid to a woke play about the Cal Talpa rescue and the Irish Rebellion. Oh, nice. That sounds interesting. The wild geese, but the word for them is banned on Twitch, I think. It worked, but came up with an odd warning thing. Oh, yeah, Twitch sometimes is like, are you sure you want to say that? That might be potentially offensive. Yeah, it gives... Sometimes the warnings are really weird, because I sometimes see them in auto mod, and I'm just so confused why that was even a thing Twitch tried to auto mod. But yeah, have a good one. I hope you enjoy the play with your kid. It sounds interesting. It sounds like a cool play. My parents took me to a lot of cultural stuff like that when I was young. I always appreciated that. But yeah, have a good night, Sapatra. Thanks for hanging out.
What does the other purple side of the magic wand do? It looks mystical and important and stuff. I'm pretty sure I saw Venu Oran warriors shooting energy balls out of it, disintegrating Eutropian storm twerps.
Yes, all peacekeepers are honored with the Sigma staff, crafted
You have a
from
good night
strands
too.
of our
Enjoy
cosmic
Neofeud
mother's
too. I
hair.
always do. Have a good one.
Cosmic Mother's hair?
You must inquire with our veteran kindred. I am only recently reacquainted with these tools.
Kailatu, come in.
Yes, young one.
What is this Cosmic Mother's hair the Sekhmet staff is made of?
The primitive Eutropians know it as exotic matter surrounding the supermassive black hole, Sagittarius A star. The pale Earthlings lack technology capable of withstanding her trillion-degree breath.
Whoa! So, what exactly does the shooty side of your weapon do?
Ra is exertion of power where all means of right-making have failed. The burning of the sun, the tooth of the mother dog defending her pups, the plasma sting of the Venuora staff, for liberation of the galactic Silk Road.
Interesting. Okay. Nice. Alright, now we can go lift that thing. I never really went to anything like that. At one point, I remember willingly going to some Minions bullshit. That's funny.
Hey, Baraksa, Do you think you could help me move that giant rock? It's too heavy for me.
Certainly, I will assist you in your sacred task, Steel One.
Whoa, good thing Baraxa has anti-grav abilities too.
Wow! How the heck did you just do that?
Zonary is weight itself, the force that draws Skyfather to embrace Earth Mother in wet kisses of rain. Quantum gravity distortion can lighten a heavy bundle of Cairo root, or Carabas full of vine.
Why don't you guys just use anti-grav all the time?
Wow. So,
Good question.
why don't you guys just use anti-gravity all the time? It'd make daily chores and putting away groceries and farming a cinch. Just wave your magic wand tattoo and all the blueberries lift off the trees. Or whatever blueberries grow on.
Well, if we overuse Zonary, never embrace Earth Mother on our knees, our fingers tending the soil. If we allow alienated machines and forsaken AI to carry all water, we can become disconnected, weightless, and float off into cold voids of self-absorption, as we once did millions of years ago.
Where did you get that
Where
ability?
did you learn to do that? That indigenous magitech seems like something Eugoria would forbid.
Yes, I have gone against our grain of late, and studied the veterans' ways. I am still quite novice in super shin crafting.
Huh. Okay.
Hey, Lith, about this busted bot soldier? The Black Eutropian soldier said this blue screen Nostro 1492 should have some digidog tags or something.
Yeah, it's a different generation of Nostro than you, but its tags should be compatible with your hardware.
Nostro 1492? What does that mean anyway?
Nostro stands for Neuronally Overseen Strategic Terrestrial Robot Operator. A mouthful, I know, but you know how the macho buzzcut dick brains love their trumped up acronym speak. Makes them feel special and wows useless politicians that push the big bucks to the millicorps.
What's the MO for?
Model Zero, you were the first of your product line.
Right, but Nostro 1492? I'm pretty sure there aren't 1,491 other versions of me.
You're right. The Imperialists chose the number 1492 in honor of Columbus, one of their OG Earthling colonizers, who poured boiling soap down the throats of indigenous Earth people for not bringing him enough gold.
Huh. Hilarious.
How do I get the digidog tags out?
The neural verification device should be at the back of the cranial case.
Okay. Okay, sorry, buddy. Gotta pop your head open a sec.
Son of a Bisberg. I can't open it.
Upon blue screening, that area seals up pretty tight to prevent consciousness counterfeiting.
You're telling me. Guess I'll have to get creative.
Let me do this. Mix that together. What about you? I was looking at some of your emojis and saw there's some dude in white hit wet. No idea what you're talking about.
Hey, Lith, about this busted bot soldier? The Black Utropian soldier said this blue screen Nostro 1492 should have some Digidog tags or something.
Yeah, it's a different generation of Nostro than you, but its tags should be compatible with your hardware.
Okay,
Son of a Bisberg. I can't open it.
Upon blue screening, that area seals up pretty tight to prevent consciousness counterfeiting.
You're telling me. Guess I'll have to get creative.
I had to ask her about it. Okay, no, it doesn't really do anything there. This must be the Bricks GI gadget that the black soldier was talking about. Rest in pieces, Brobot. What do we do here? So let me have her and my robot arm. Maybe this? Can't use those. Oh wait, there we go. Let's try putting some extra elbow grease into it.
This dude has such a hard head. It's sealed up as tight as a trillionaire safe, like the kind they hide behind paintings. I'm gonna have to go to even more extreme lengths to crack this egg open.
Is it like collapsed building that I could drop on it, maybe? Do we have to talk to her now? No, okay, it doesn't change anything. What else is there that I can look at in here? Also, I forget, what's the thing that highlights everything on screen? I forget. Is it like space or right click or something? Clearly need to do something else here. I'm just not sure what. No, it's just gonna do the same thing over again.
Hey,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a
son of a Bisberg. I can't open it.
Upon blue screening, that area seals up pretty tight to prevent consciousness counterfeiting.
You're telling me. Guess I'll have to get creative.
I feel like I'm just missing something that's like probably interactable that we can use for it. Maybe something in the previous area? I just got on the local Weenu Oran's good side. I better not take the precious water of life. That'd just piss them off again. Damn, I thought maybe we could put the water on the robot. This Ugorian structure resembles the ziggurat-like black holes altar in Venura, but on closer inspection, the circular void wreathed with the amber and ruby corona is just an oily torch behind a colored cloth. I guess Ugorians really do shun their cousins' high-tech ways. Interesting. Planet sucker? Utros stab these down from star cruisers like giant fangs. Suck out the Texas tea? Oh, Texas tea, I get it. Suck out the Texas tea, drink terrestrial areas dry and shriveled up, then move on to wreck new lands. I heard the brass refer to them as nodding donkeys a few times. Donkeys and horses have been goners since before I was manufactured, but from what I gather, a donkey was a gigantic, thirsty horse. Sure, Nostro. Jeez, does the West ever stop bombing? Smog-belching smokestacks, polluted structures the Eutropians have installed on the invaded stolen land. Gross. Maybe I do have to talk to him again. Let me just see. No, he just said that. Alright, let's go back over there then. Must be something else in here that I've, like, missed that's interactable. Like, maybe I'm supposed to use a piece of the rubble to smash the robot open. But I don't seem to be able to interact with it anymore, so I guess it's not that. Use this if I'm up close to it. Nope. What time is it? Ah, shit, it's pretty late. I should probably end stream now. Let me think of a save to make here. What would be a funny name for this save? What did we do in today's stream thus far? Well, not the whole stream, but just playing Neofeud. Okay, yeah, we snuck into like the Warzone and teamed up with a chud and an indigenous person. This was still fun. Good night, Shark. Good night, Wayward Traveler Fart. Whatever. Should. But yeah, I gotta end stream now. I'm fucking tired. And also, I gotta go to the chemist anyway. I need to refill my medication prescription. Who's live now? Alright, I'll just raid Paddle Snake. But yeah, I'll be live tomorrow. Olivia and I will be playing some more Fallout, and the day after that we'll have like, you know, Chibi Trash Cinema Club and more Death Stranding 2 and Half-Life and stuff. Well, Half-Life's the day after, and Mystery Shark Theater Sunday. Anyway, I'll be back tomorrow. Good night, everybody. Love you all, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.